Really short shorts, tank top, hat, bikini.
Or like as Kirsten said, always carry a bathing suit wherever you go, which feels a little bit extra in terms of advice. But I will say, so this is a Can 101 newbies, like here's all the things that we learned last year as like first timers.
Yes.
Podcast. There's probably some good things for, long timers too. Yep. And certainly links to kind of all the things that we're doing and are interested in. But you don't really have to carry your bathing suit everywhere you go.
You could go skinny dipping too. It's a good point.
You do need comfortable shoes everywhere you go. The comforts of the shoes just cannot be emphasized enough.
Yes, spend your time looking for chic, lightweight, but comfortable shoes. And then you'll be fine. Everything else will come together.
Really tall order. And bring a hat and sunscreen. Or go to Monoprix. All right, enjoy the episode. Hope it's helpful. Let us know in the comments what we missed so that other people can catch it. And we will be back. There will be an episode of the podcast while we're away. And then we'll be back with a recap of all the things that we learned and enjoyed at Cannes.
Yes. Enjoy it. And if it's helpful, share it with somebody.
Ciao. Hey everyone, it's Chris.
And Kirsten.
Welcome to Good Thinking Weekly, the podcast where we discuss the best of the best in brands, marketing, and culture.
Thousands of people, top execs from the likes of Complex, Klaviyo, Walmart, Wall Street Journal, and LVMH tune in every single week.
We run a creative consultancy in GoodCo, so we know what it takes to build a good brand.
Subscribe on YouTube, your favorite podcast app, and Good Thinking on Substack for more.
All right, let's dive in.
Welcome to Good Thinking. This is going to be an informative one.
I mean, informative if you're going to Cannes, and if you're not going to Cannes, it's going to be more informative about us.
Right. Okay, so we went to Cannes last year for the first time, and
noobs. Total noobs.
Total. And we've learned some things, and I feel like there are so many people that are asking this year, I'm first timer, what do I need to know? We see this everywhere in like private chats, LinkedIn, all the places.
Yeah.
So we're here to share what we know.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I do think there's a lot of first timers going this time. That feels like there's a renewed energy around Cannes. Like I think when we went last year, we were kind of like not the first to be going back, but like there was a renewed energy. But this year it feels crazy. Like everybody's going.
Yes. It feels like one of the biggest, like, I don't know, I describe it as a marketing conference. It's hard to say it as that, but
well, it's always been that, but I think it has evolved, and so maybe we can kind of give a lay of the land of like how it's changed in our opinion as people who've not been there but know some things.
Right. Okay, great. Let's start there. What you got?
So I think, well, my feeling on it is that it used to be very much around the awards, and it was very much that was the focus, right? Like that's my perception, and it's not to say that the awards aren't important, and last year, Kirsten was a judge, and we're going there this time as invited as press. Woohoo! Mm-hmm. But I think it's a little bit different because the outside worlds are as kind of big, and they've always been big parties and big like kind of activations. But I think the programming outside is as big as the inside programming, if that makes sense. So there's Cannes Lions proper, if you want to, and some people will have passes like us, and some people won't have passes. And not having a pass, I didn't have a pass last year, and let me just tell you, I survived and I was just fine. I had no need for the pass. Like, I'm excited to have the pass this year, but, you can have a great time without a pass.
Yeah, the basement is the biggest thing, and we'll get to that. But it really is like there's Cannes Lion where kind of the awards and all of the things are happening. And then there's just overtaken by like all of these brands creating experiences along the beach, along all of the places around that. And I agree with you, like that's almost more of the focus at this point, right or wrong.
Yeah, well, and they're affiliated. Like many of these brands that we're going to talk about, many of these events are affiliated with Cannes. So it's more, but you can still go without a pass to some of them. Some of them not so much. But if there's a will, there's a way, just so you know.
Always. And there's a ton of lists. Like we're not really going to focus. There's so many different lists of like, here's what you need to know. Here's what we're going to highlight a few. But I think it's really more of like, okay, you're going for the first time. You're a newbie as we were. Like, here's some things to know.
Right. So point 1 on my list was being an outsider is fine. So maybe we've covered this, but anything else to add?
No, I think just like there's something, as I think with every experience, there's something beautiful of going for the first time and just be really open. I think just don't, and I think this is one of my like top 3, maybe advice for Cannes, but maybe also just advice for life. Just be really open to what can be, because I think that's where the magic really happens at Cannes. Like have your agenda, your schedule, whatever you're going to do, but just be really open-minded to that. And I think being a first timer, being an outsider has a lot of magic in it.
Yes. I will say that, everybody has their strategies around meetings. Like some people are morning meeting people. Some people are like, they're just meeting people all day. My personal opinion on the whole thing is to just have a happenstance meeting approach to things. But I do think it's great to have meetings. But like someone was like, where do you have meetings? Like, where do you hold meetings? And so I had a bit, and maybe we'll get into the list of like places that I would meet people if I were going to try. But I also think aggregating your meetings all together, just knowing that like bouncing around, just first of all, you're going to get there. You'll be, there's the beach and there's no beach. Like you literally can't see the beach. And you'll just be going on this gigantic long line back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all day. And you're so hot and you're so tired. And the thought of meeting anyone, just period, is insane. Like you just feel like that is just not a doable exercise. So respect to everybody who has planned a lot of meetings. And I know a lot of people are there to meet clients and do all of these things. And you will do those things if you need
It's
to.
a huge part of it. Yeah.
Right. But if you're meeting people just to casually meet people, like say it's like a creator that you're interested in talking to or somebody you're a fan of, a brand or whoever, I personally think that I would meet people either at a Canva event or a Collins House event. Because those last year anyway were the chillest of the venues in order to like have a chat with somebody and be able to like have space to do that without booking a meeting room. And there's plenty of meeting rooms, by the way, like LinkedIn has meeting rooms, like like if you're meeting with press, there's tons of that, but just for casual meetings.
Yeah. But just know, it's a bit more of an effort than say like a conference in Vegas because of the heat, because of the layout, and because of all the things that are going on.
Yeah. So you're outside for the most part and there are fans, but they're really not working. There's nowhere near enough water to sustain you for like actual life consumption. So you're just constantly wondering where your next source of droplets are coming from. Even though there are plenty of lines and plenty of like water stations, you're just like the dehydration level is just insane.
It's real. It's real. It's hot. Yeah.
I will say also female quotient was great last year. And this year they're going to be on the beach. So it'll be different. There's both the beach and the rooftop, I believe. And they're kind of doing a bit of both. Whereas last year they just had this rooftop location.
Right.
The rooftop location did have air conditioning inside, but it was not a suitable venue for meeting somebody. It was very crowded.
Yeah. There's a lot happening there.
A lot happening in a great way, like good for them. Like it was very crowded, but in terms of space, like Collins House has this beautiful property. We love the guys at Collins.
Beautiful. Yes.
They get this great villa. There's lots of great talks happening and the property is a little bit more open and there's maybe a bit more space if you're not attending one of the talks to meet somebody and then go and attend a talk. And similarly at Canva, they maximized last year anyway on seating and places to like hang out and have a conversation. Whereas many places are more geared towards, like there are a lot of great panels at Canva, but when there's not a panel happening, it was last year like couches. And most places is like individual seats and you feel like you're just sitting in the pews of like a religious convention if you were going to meet somebody, which is not how I would recommend having a meeting.
All right. We got it.
Okay.
Meetings.
What else do we talk about? That's meetings.
Yeah. So basically, like everything is along the beach, and I think you're either going and checking out awards, you're either having meetings, or you're kind of going to activations, right? Those are the things.
Yes, or
activations, talks, going to activations/talks.
There's a lot of panels, and I will say that in my opinion, there's too many panels happening. And what was interesting to me is this year, Cîroc is doing, instead of having any panels, they're doing what they're calling the Cîroc Athletic Club. And it's a little bit outside of the main like Calais area. And obviously I've never been. New this year what they're doing. But they're going to have like IV drips and paddle and massages and drinks, and it's going to be all just chill. There's no panels. And I think that this is in response to the fact that there's like you just panel out on day 2.
Yeah.
Like on day 2, you're like, I cannot panel anymore.
I'm paneled and dipped out. I think this is so cool, and I think it speaks to like we'll do a post can pod, but just the opportunity that's there and to do things differently. And these guys are really like, I'm so excited for this house and to check it out. And I think it's really speaking to like what people actually want versus like just doing what everybody else is already doing.
Yeah, we'll be there on Wednesday, by the way, if anyone wants to meet up and give us a text. But yeah, I think it's really interesting, that idea. And like, I will say that from the programming of like Canva, especially, there's like, Canva has a few like more morning chill activities, like sound bath maybe that's happening, and some other things that are maybe less about like paneling and more about like actually chilling and, meeting people in a different way. Because I think one of the things that we're having a dinner there. Sadly, it's all, by the time you'll have heard this, we will be booked out. But it will be mostly around connecting with people. And I think that's one of the things that doesn't really happen at a panel, is like you sit down, you listen to the panel, and then you don't talk to anyone. That was my experience last year. I will say, of the panels I went to last year, by far the best were at Female Quotient.
Yeah, you love that. Yeah.
Far and away the best panels. They felt like the least like pay-to-play panels, in my opinion. Maybe people are doing that, but it was more like there was real value being added in the panel and not just like speaking for speaking's sake.
Yeah. There's a lot of pay-to-play, certainly. And so I think oftentimes, unfortunately, the content reflects that.
Yes. So anyway, but then going back to activations, I think Pinterest for sure is like, I mean, everybody knows this. This year they're calling it the Manifestival, like a manifesting festival. Pinterest always goes all out for the experience. And I would 100% go and check that out. Last year,
really bring it to life. Yeah.
Tons of experiential activities. And they do a good job. Like, one of the things I really respect about them, we'll go through this more in the kind of the recap, is that they do a really good job of like weaving in their, like, this is what the new offerings that we have, and this is what Pinterest is doing, and this is how we're innovative, along with the activations, right? Like, they bring them to life.
They really bring their brand to life, I think, unlike many brands. Like, it's very impressive what they do and how they really thoughtfully and all the details bring it to life. Okay, so when you get there, kind of in general, I think a lot of people give the advice, and I think it's really smart, of basically like walking the footprint, so that you really have an idea of what it is. Like,
and
you can see it on the map, you watch it, but that's helpful.
Yeah, there are a lot of new beach houses this year, like, so to speak. Like, last year they had, like, the mix is different every year. Like, DoorDash will be there again, but like Edelman is going to be there for the first time. That's where we're having our dinner, and they've got tons of programming. And by the way, they're going to have cooling towels all afternoon, and they're going to have cold
and popsicles
in the afternoon. And I would highly recommend going to check those out.
For sure.
There's also, let me think. So there's Adobe, which last year had a big property always. LinkedIn has a big property. TikTok has a big property. And one of the things like that I should mention, truly this is if you're new and you don't know this, but you need to register for all of these things, like, individually. And there's links in the show notes of like the ones like that I have access to. But there's always so many more than I have in the show notes.
Yeah, there's lists everywhere.
Register, and they often give you a QR code, and you're going to need said QR code to get in. So one of the big tips is make sure you buy like 10 battery packs, because you're going to need a new battery pack for every like half of a day that you're there.
Right. I think this is unlike, I think, many conferences. There's a lot of pre-work involved in this. Thank you, Chris. To register for every individual event versus like
Milan
a big
was also
registration.
Pretty gnarly in this respect too. But.
Right. But I think to actually go and do that, you're going to be glad, because then you're not waiting in the heat, filling out the QR code, with the sun blaring down on you and, 800 people in front of you in line. Do the pre-work.
Yes. And things like, so sports speech is a big one that will be there. And I didn't even link to it in the show notes because if you haven't registered for it already, like it's way too late. Google, you will have to have a meeting if you want to get into the Google House typically. Amazon does have a few events going on that you can register for. So like if you want to, you can do that. But TikTok, Adobe, LinkedIn all have affiliation, I think, with the Cannes Lions. So if you have a pass there, you should be able to get in. But then certain ones, like, so there's like creator panels, and those require a creator pass or press pass to get in. And if you don't have the right pass, then you can't get in. So it's
even if you
worth
register,
even if you register. So it's just worth making sure that, like, before you plan this whole gigantic schedule, and I don't actually recommend doing a gigantic schedule, but if there's particular things that you do want to go to, it's worth making sure that you are registered and that you have the right pass so that when you get there, it's just smooth sailing.
Right. But one event that has amazing content that everybody can register and get into is Brands and Culture.
Yes. We love it's no surprise. Everybody who listens to us knows we love Charlotte.
I mean, they're such rad humans and they have great content and it's a great vibe.
Yes. So you can register for that. It is a little bit off the main area at the villa. It's totally walkable. We did it last year.
Yes,
similar to
many
Collins,
times.
by the way. Like, you don't need to take a taxi, though we do have a recommendation for a taxi service. But one of the big tips that you need is shoes. Don't even bother packing a heel. Don't pack an uncomfortable sandal. Make sure you have Band-Aids, maybe socks, even though you don't want to wear them, that you can put in your bag. No, seriously.
I can't endorse that.
I mean, you have sock game now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, in the cold.
Yeah. But like, if you're walking 30 minutes and your shoes can't handle it, just throw on a pair of socks and take them off.
The footwear thing is real. Like, you really have to be thoughtful about it within the packing. Like, it's really like rad lightweight sneakers. Those are the jam.
Yes. Or just like really, like, I have a ton of like lightweight, like cotton, shoes. Those are the sweating involved in this event is really just like, it cannot be emphasized enough.
It's so hot.
You need no synthetic fabrics in your wardrobe, like none. Like every bit of polyester needs to be left at home.
Yeah, you cannot. Like the packing game, you have to be really, really thoughtful about it. You want to look chic, but you also want as little clothing as possible because it is so hot.
Yes. And you'll need to change multiple times a day, in our opinion, which Kirsten is always a multiple times a day changer. Right. But it is very, like, you're going to have to game your changes. And like, we actually have them scheduled into our program. Like, so we don't have a lot scheduled, but we have like changes scheduled. Because you will sweat and you won't want to go to the evening events in the outfit that you were in your day events, at the very least. If not, you're going to want to also go home and shower like maybe one more time other than that. It's really, last year it was so hot, like sometimes taking a shower is truly like an exercise of like self-care. Like it was.
Yes. Nice cold shower.
But it was like a health condition. Like you needed to do it. Like you were just overheating.
Yes.
All right. So to speak of heat, so you will need to drink a lot of water, but don't carry a water bottle because you won't want to carry it around. Fans, everybody will have a menopause fan. Kirsten will make fun of you.
It's true.
Hats are, so last year, Female Quotient gave out a Ferragamo hat, and Kirsten...
And it was like a thing.
Like everybody was wearing it. But you will need shade structures for your body. some variety.
Yes.
So I recommend bringing
them.
So that you don't have to panic buy. Because the shopping actually there, other than Monoprix, which is great shopping, but not like super convenient to get to depending on where you're staying, there's not a lot of great shopping. Like you won't be inspired. Bring your hat game.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the basement for the awards?
Oh, yes. If you have a pass, and you do have to have a pass to get into the festival, but 100% you should go down to the basement, which is where the awards are, and they have everything, done by kind of category and printed out. And it's such a beautiful experience, and it really brings it back of like why this thing happens. But it's really, for me, it was just going and seeing the breadth of the work, of the years, of the impact. I don't know, there's something kind of really magical about it that I think brings you back to the purpose and the reason for being. You do have to have the badge, but if you can swing it, have the badge for whatever reason, go to the basement. I would definitely make time for that. And I'm not a big, like, go see the tour kind of a person, but it's definitely, I think, an important piece if you can swing it.
She's the opposite of a tour person. So if you're hearing it, then it's meaningful. And then the other thing is if you do have a pass, it's good to go get that early, because if you try to get it late, then the lines can be a thing.
Yeah, the first morning, somebody recommended whatever, literally doing it the first morning that you have an early AM. And I think the idea to go and get the pass, and again, like, I'm not like super regimented in this way, and then do the walk of kind of the footprint, I think was really helpful.
Yeah. All right. We must discuss dips, because I
Okay,
had really strong
let's get into
feelings about
food.
the dips.
Yeah, you do, you do. Okay, I'm here for it.
Well,
I'm
I
ready.
didn't. I previously did not care about dips until after like day 3 of. So one of the things about the food situation, so you'll find that you're just out all day. Is food available? The food will be some kind of dip with a crudité, or like
So
no
true.
crudité at times. And it will be warm dip. It will not be chilled dip. And hot cheese is another situation. So
Yeah,
make sure that try to get some regular food in your body.
right. The cadence of eating, like, is, often a challenge, but I think particularly it can, because you're just doing so many things, and then you do go to get the dip and you realize it's been sitting in the sun for 20 minutes and you're like, no, thank you. So having some snacks, figuring that out. Otherwise, you are going to end up the end of the day happy hour and it will be dips galore.
Yes. I will say that a lot of people are like, you have to book dinners in advance and you have to do all these things. Like, if you're in a small group, we did not have a problem like finding a spot. Like, people are turning tables really quickly if you're willing to eat early or eat late. Like, you can
Yeah.
they're unlike most of Europe, like they're running lunch like basically all day. There's one alley, you'll find it. I'll link to it in the show notes. There's one alley
Magical.
with like tons of restaurants. It's a little magical, but it's a little chaotic. But there is one Japanese restaurant in there, and like because everybody's like, "Oh, Europe, like I want to eat French food." Nobody's going to the Japanese restaurant, and the food was good, decent, good, like more than serviceable. And if you're in a panic, I would recommend going there. But we managed to eat at a few places that were very delicious, and like
Yeah.
we'll link to them. One's Le Cave, was very good, and like, people move in and out, and they're totally professional about it. If you
Yes.
have
Be a professional
like,
eater.
well, if you're overloaded and you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's so crowded, I can't do this anymore. I will say that what we did towards the end of the trip, which I think could be done earlier in the trip, is right behind the kind of main palais. You can kind of go along the beach and like actually enter a strip of restaurants that are literally right on the water where there is sand.
Mhm.
And while there are events happening at many of them, there's still a lot of food service happening there, and certainly drinks. And like 4:30 is like a totally fine time to go, or go late, but don't go at 6 type of thing. But they like, you can put your feet in the water, have some
Delightful.
delicious food,
Delightful.
sit on the sand, get a sunbed, and have some food on your sunbed, and like it'll be delicious, like proper food,
Yeah.
ceviche or whatever it is that you
Maybe
need
some
to
dips.
have. There will be dips, but they will be cold, and they
Right.
won't have sat in the sun. So those are different kinds of dips. Like, we
Yeah,
should
so you could put your menopause fan on the dip. No.
no. The Carlton Hotel is obviously the hub, and like if you
Well, not
want to
obviously,
try,
but yeah, which is
it
like
is.
a chic, like, and they just redid it. Like, it's a pretty iconic
It's very
space.
iconic. It's very crowded.
Yes.
I don't recommend meeting people there unless you like really just need somewhere very central and like that everyone can find. But then you will need to go and find somewhere else to hang out.
Right. You can meet there and then go to find a table somewhere because it's hard.
Yes.
So we did get in at the bar and that was lovely.
We shockingly got a seat at the bar one day, and then the next day we're like rudely awakened to the fact that this is not
It's
a
true.
doable
It's true.
exercise. And by rudely, I mean rudely. So there is that. Then we can kind of get into peripheral things, I think.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
As we're getting towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend booking a taxi, pre-booking a taxi, not doing this, trying to get an Uber, not trying to get like a random taxi at the airport. Book a car to pick you
Yes.
up. The airport is insanity, and you will want to avoid checking your bag. It's tough because, like Europe, but
And
if you
apparently
can.
there can be a lot of strikes. You probably know more about this, but there can be a lot of strikes at this particular time. And the word is
Yes.
like, for sure, do not check a bag, carry on.
Yes.
Otherwise, you
And
could be really
last year
screwed.
I got hit by the strike as I came in and
Right.
came out, and it was a situation. Assume it, just pack light, again, as little clothing as you can
Yeah.
possibly go for is
Yes,
the move.
it's true. It's true. But yeah, book the car from the airport to the airport ahead of time.
And
And
from your hotel to the airport, like
yeah,
in the reverse. Because a lot of flights are very, very early in the morning or very late at night for whatever reason. And so it's good to kind of have that all organized.
yes. And speaking of transportation around it is not easy to get an Uber. There is opportunity for pedicabs, things to happen that are not currently there. So you're probably going to do a lot of walking.
Yeah, some people recommend bikes, but I will say that like that would no, but like, can you imagine trying to ride a bike on that? Like, where are you going to ride a bike? Like, there's literally like it's gridlock traffic, like up and
Yeah,
down the Croisette.
it is.
It would be a nightmare to ride a bike. I don't know where you would park your bike. Like, that's not going to be an option for you. And then when you go off into the things, it's actually hilly. So it's
Very.
not like you would want to make sure you got an electric bike if you did
Yep.
that. Cause like,
It's true.
that's not a joke. So just account for time. Like, to be honest, you cannot be in 10 places at once, but you certainly can be places like more than 30 minutes. Like, you'll need 30 minutes to go from one side to the
Yeah.
other. Just people traffic like makes it impossible, let alone just like actual foot time.
And the run in, like even if you've never been, like you will end up running into people 100%. Like, and you just, and that's part of, I think, the magic of like just allowing time for that, allowing connection for that, allowing for those kind of happenings.
Yeah. There's a lot of obviously nighttime activities too. A lot of happy hours available to a lot of people. Try not to get on a boat that might sink.
Right. Or
But, you're going
pretty
to want to
positive
say yes to
experience.
all these things. And then while I love the morning programming, like, if you're out until 2 in the morning, it makes morning programming challenging.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So speaking of electrolytes, creatine, I recommend going to the supermarket and getting some food for yourself and putting it in your hotel room or your Airbnb, because that was like for us like a huge huge thing. We would come back at 5 o'clock and like inhale fruit, like just
Yeah.
desperately eating fruit, like frantically out of the fridge.
Yes. Yes. That was a good move. And there are, of course, adorable French markets everywhere. Not everywhere, but there were enough. And
Yes.
so good, so fresh. Yes, that was a
Yes.
good move. And then also even like I think I had a few bars in the mornings and things like that. Like I think the French pharmacy had some good things just to make sure, that the eating
You
is
might want to
happening.
bring if you're a picky eater. And then coffee, Good Mate, and there's another one,
Oh, good mate was so good.
Copenhagen. Copenhagen is like the other one that people really like. The rest of the coffee is really unserviceable. I
It's the
grew
difference
up
of
in
the
France.
push
I think
machine.
I think I can say that, French people can make very good coffee, but you're not going to be finding it at a random bar in Cannes for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, struggle's real. And you need coffee, at least I did.
Yes. And then I would recommend trying to swim in the ocean at least once.
Oh, so magical. So magical. Yeah.
Yes.
There are some people that
it
do
is
it
hard.
on the daily, which I might try to get in on that. And there are like
Yeah,
activities, like there's
she
like,
says that she's literally there for 2 days, but like that's not going to happen. But we are going to go for a swim on Friday morning. So if you're listening to this and you want to meet up to go for a swim, we are going to go on Friday.
yes, that so good. A swim and then some Aperol spritzes. Come on.
Comparing.
Perfection. Select.
Yes. There won't be any select in Italy, in France. There won't be any select. But there will be a lot of rosé. There will be a lot of Orangina.
Yes. Yes.
And
Matcha.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was some
All the
matcha
things.
at the Pinterest house. That was pretty good.
It was delicious matcha. Yeah. Yes. It was
Yeah,
delicious.
Canva also is getting, I've heard, a proper coffee bar situation. So
Great.
you can hit them up for caffeinated beverages.
Great. Okay. So Did we mention Monoprix?
The very last thing, we mentioned it briefly. So if you don't know
Okay.
what Monoprix is, it's essentially like Target of France, like is the closest that I can think of.
Yes.
It's very cute. They have great clothes. It's the place to go if you need sunscreen. It's the place to go if you need a pair of shoes or a hat or just shopping in general. But it's very
Yes.
affordable, adorable.
Super
You'll want
cute.
to take back a lot of things.
Yes.
Remember that French sunscreen is better than your American sunscreen, so you're going to find some cute brands in there.
Yep. There are also French pharmacies for that, more on the main shopping. Because
Yes.
Monoprix is a little bit of a hike, but worth it. Like I would go early this time. I think maybe it went late, but found some great shoes there, some good scarves, bathing suits. They've got all the things.
Yes.
Okay.
You went on your very last day, and I'll probably go on my very first day.
Shit. All right. Find me things. Talked about the electrolytes. Creatine is a big, I take it, but it's a big travel.
I really
important
like it
element
for the
you.
sleep. Like I think for your quality, so magnesium glycinate and creatine for sleep, in my opinion, best quality sleep you're going to get and helpful. Oh, I know it's
Yes.
just for cognitive purposes, creatine is nice.
Yes. Yeah. For recovery, all the things. And I think, yeah, the biggest advice I have, which, I think a lot of people talk about, is just like plan whatever you're going to plan, but really allow for the spontaneity. And then when those things happen, follow the flow and the magic of those versus like, oh no, I got to get back to my meeting that's going to happen. Like, because that's really, it's those connections, those moments that make everybody speak about Cannes in the way of like, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's this beautiful experience. And I think it really can be.
Yes. And there will be a breakfast club happening,
Yes.
I think on Tuesday.
I think on Tuesday morning.
We will try to link to it in the show notes, but
Yes.
I think all are welcome to that. And it's a nice place
Yes.
to meet people in the creative marketing world in a non-salesy, like chill capacity, which I think is really, really nice.
And rare and like, everybody's kind of selling something in kind of this
Yes.
experience.
And we will also be at the Substack private breakfast, which is not open to the public. But if you are going to be there, come and say hi. And
Yes.
please come and say hi and come and hang out with us. We'd love to see you and chill with you too.
We would love it. Hope this helps, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. It's just going to be hot as fuck.
And then it's going to rain and like it won't be hot. But
Then you'll have some dips, but you'll jump in the ocean and it'll be beautiful.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. It's always very tiring. So enjoy it. Make the most of it. Come back with a good story.
Yes. And take care of yourself.
Yes.
All right. We hope to see you there.
Ciao. That was it for this episode of Good Thinking. Don't forget to tune in next week.
If you found this valuable, subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast app.
And don't forget to read on Substack for even more insights.
And if you really liked it, drop us a heart. We'd love to hear from you.
Ciao. Until next time.